I'm back, and this video is going to be a little bit different. I know I was going somewhere completely different with my train of thought just then, so woo, let's forget about that part. But I took a little poll, or I guess a survey, on a Facebook page that I'm currently on, and asked if I should consider start doing videos like this. So this is going to be my first one of this nature, and we'll see how it goes. But I am Wiccan, as you will notice later and throughout the video. I am Wiccan. I'm proud Wiccan. We normally my family, we try to hide it a little bit because we live in the South, and it has been met with a lot of prejudice and negativity, so we try to hide it. But I'm slowly getting over that, and I guess coming out of that, because I do want to be more open about it than I have been in the past, and I want to educate people on it a bit more than what they already have. So I don't know. I guess this is mainly going to be a craft video, but you know, I guess that'll kind of do the same purpose, maybe. I don't know. We will see. But anyways, like I said, I'm doing Wiccan crafts. So I guess I know it's probably been out there before, but I'm doing my take on some of the classics, and then some of the stuff that I like to do just because of it has representation for me. So maybe other people might like it. I don't know. We will see. But for this video, if you can't tell by the title, we are making the standard witch's ball. I'm doing my variation of that and what I like to do with them, and make them a bit more crafty than, you know, just standard. You'll see when we go through the video. But see here, I'll go ahead and show you the final product, and then as you continue watching the video, you actually see the process. So here is the actual witch's ball we are making. So, and if you can't really see the symbol on it, it's the runic symbol, Ingra. I could be pronouncing it so wrong. It's supposed to be like the male fertility symbol, but it also has a lot of, self-growth and promotion. It has a lot of good stuff that I wanted to try to promote with this, not just fertility. So there's a lot of symbolism behind this particular one, so that's why I put it on the back of my ball, and then of course you have your pentagram on the front. But and you'll see everything that I do regarding that and as we go through the video. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and jump into that, and I'll meet y'all at the end and share our thoughts.
Alright everybody, like I promised, I'm going to be doing a witch's ball for you. I know it's not really a craft, but I kind of do my own little take on the witch's ball. I don't know how much more variance you could really have it, but I use glitter for mine. So, I don't know. It's not really a conventional kind of ingredient whenever you do it. I use Mod Podge and glitter, and you'll see why whenever we get toward that part. But for right now, here's everything. I kind of have it laid out on my yoga mat because I would do it on my altar, but it's kind of a wreck right now. Plus, it's in the room with my snake, and I don't want to wake him up because it is very late, and he gets cranky if he gets woken up. So, I kind of have everything kind of laid out on my mat, so I just figured I'd show you the chaos that I have right now, and then I'm going to put the camera down and actually start doing the witch's ball. So, there's everything, and I'm going to set the camera down, so bear with me. Whoop! Yep. I about lost it. Okay. So, I'm using a plastic ball that I got from, I think, Dollar Tree. Yeah, Dollar Tree, because right now it's Christmas, so of course they have all the little plastic balls out. I know some people prefer to use glass, but I'm clumsy. Very clumsy. I don't want to use glass. So, we're not going to be using glass. We're going to be using plastic. You can use glass if you're comfortable with it and safe with it. I am not. So, I'm using plastic. So, I need to cut the tag off of that. Now, the purpose of a witch's ball is many different things. I'm making mine for protection, and I'm catering it to my needs, and I'm catering it to my element, which I just realized that I actually forgot one ingredient. So, I'm going to pause and come back to that. Okay, Sorry, I'm back. I had to pause the video for a minute because I had to go find my seashells that I actually really needed. I thought I had everything here, and apparently I didn't. Okay, so where was I? I don't know. I'm just gonna pick up from somewhere. Sorry, but okay. So each witch's ball is very customizable. Like I said, I'm making mine to cater toward me. So my element is water, and I just found out that I'm an empath. So I'm trying to make something to help with all the energy, I guess, that I've received over the years, and try to work with that. Plus, where we live, it's kind of like a little hotbed, so I need a little bit of protection. I've already smudged my area. I've already done everything that you're supposed to do. I'm just not doing this at my altar currently because, like I said, it is a wreck. So for mine, like I said, the stuff that I will be using is personal stuff for me that actually has a lot of meaning for me, and that is going to be really good for taking in that negative energy and then just kind of neutralizing it and then dispersing it back out as positive, clean energy. So what I have is a little bit of mugwort. Now I get all of my herbs. There's a guy at our flea market, funny enough, who sells a bunch of herbs, and I can get them really big. Where there's another little place where I was getting them from that $5 for this versus $5 for something this big. I mean, come on. So that's why I switched. But now some of the stuff I do grow myself, but I haven't had much luck with my garden here recently, so we're having to redo the soil in it to make it a bit more, I guess, a bit more fertile. So, but yeah, I'm using mugwort, which is really good against evil spirits. So there's that one, and negative energy. And then this is an old herb that my grandmother told me about, and then the gentleman at the flea market actually reminded me about this because I had completely forgotten about it, and I went there looking for something utterly different, and he told me about this. I'm like, oh, that'll work perfectly. But this is Yarrow, if I'm saying it correctly, but it was used by the Druids many years, and still used by the Druids and a lot of people. It's mainly used for medicine and healing, but it's also good for negative energy, taking it in and dispersing it and cleansing it, but mainly it's used for healing purposes, and that's what I need for this energy as well. It's just like I need spiritual healing, need that. So we're going to use a little bit of that, and some white willow bark, because again, good for protection, good for neutralizing negative energy, and it's one of those things where I love white willow, so it's more of a personal thing while I'm using this, so that's why that's in here. And of course, black salt. Everybody's got to have a little bit of black salt. Now, I typically make my own now because once I bought this, I figured out how to do it, because I've always used it and I've always just bought it, I never really took the time to figure out how to make my own. Now I know how to make my own. So we're using a little bit of black salt because, again, it's good for neutralizing negative energy. Now, most people don't put this in there because you do need to change out the salt, but that's also why I'm pairing it with the Yarrow to help kind of balance those two out, so I don't have to change the salt in it. And then let's see here, the next thing I'm using is some red brick dust. Now this is actual red bricks, like made clay, not the modern processed bricks. This is real bricks. It's been through that real process, and it actually came from my nanny's house. She has a very old house that my grandfather actually built for her. So I took one of the bricks because they had a few left over, and they've kept them for years and years in like this big pile. So I took a bunch of them, and that's what I use to get my dust. So I use this very sparingly, and mainly when I really need like a little oomph, especially from like my ancestors. I need that oomph. So there's that. And then of course I have, which I need more because I've been using these quite a bit because you can use them for everything, but it's crushed up white eggshells. These are really good for promoting positive energy, for protection. And I mean, they have so many different uses because you can use them in teas, you can use them out in your garden. I mean, it's really good because it's got a lot of nutrients in it, so that's why I use it in the garden. But as far as as far as like in stuff like this, it's to help promote positive energy and light, all around just good vibes is basically what you're wanting out of this. So, you know, it's fertile, it represents one of the goddesses, so again, it's something good that you want in this type of witch's ball that I am making, at least for my purposes anyway. And then of course, my favorite crystal and the one I'm always drawn to is rose quartz. So I'm gonna have a little bit of the rose quartz in there. Let's see here. And then I've got my sand, because like I said, I'm not using dirt or anything, because I know some people use graveyard dirt layers, but I'm not. I'm using sand because, well, I'm water wicking and I am drawn to the sea, so that is what I'm using. Now I went to the beach and I got this myself, and of course I did what I was supposed to do. I asked if I could have it, and you know, left offerings and things like that. So there's that. And again, I'm putting seashells in mine. And again, I gathered these because originally I was going to use them to make charms, but they're so fragile that I really don't want to make charms out of them, so I figured this is going to be a good way to repurpose them. And then the next thing we're going to be doing is our pentagram that we're going to be putting on the ball. And of course, you gotta at least have it somewhat silver and shiny, because that's the shininess is basically, you know, the negative energy sees that light and then wants to crush that light. So we need something kind of draw them in, and then whenever we put our ribbon in to make like our web in the ball, then that'll capture them. So that's what, and plus, you know, this is really good for promoting positive energy and protection and all that as well. So let's see here, the last few things, like little things that we're actually putting in the witch's ball is I have some white ribbon and I have some blue ribbon. Blue because I'm doing it mainly for the ocean, and white because we want that purity, and plus, you know, both of these, they'll kind of help draw it in since this one's more shiny. I tried to get this one shiny, but I couldn't find any. I know you're supposed to use silver, but these are the two colors that I prefer to use just because of their meanings behind them and what they mean to me. So, and it's going to go better with my water-themed protection witch's ball than say like an earth one or just like a regular one. So this is what I'm doing. Feel free to do something differently. Okay, so to start, we're going to take our witch's ball, or we're going to take what we're using for our witch's ball, and we're going to start filling it up. Now the first thing I'm going to add, you can add this in any order you want to, and I'm probably going to end up making a mess. And I'm going to do this in pinches of 3 just because I want that little bit extra oomph from the goddesses. So we're going to do this in 3s. So I'm going to add mugwort first. That's 1 pinch. 2. And 3. And again, whenever you make these yourself, remember just to tell each ingredient what you really want it to do. Now, I've already done that. I did that off camera because I'm sorry. Rituals and stuff like that is a bit more personal, so I don't want to put that on camera for the entire world to see. So I've already done all that, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill up my bowl for y'all on camera. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to use is my White Willow bark, which smells amazing. I love the smell of White Willow. To me, it just smells really fresh and pure. So, do a pinch of that. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so there's that one. And next I'm going to add in our yarrow. Now these are kind of big leaves, so you can just do 3, or you can do 3 pinches, you know, kind of grind them up. I'm just going to put in 3 leaves. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 3 leaves. Okay, seal that back up. Now this is where I'm really going to probably make a mess, is going to do our egg powder next, or our crushed egg shells. I'm hoping I got out just enough to do a few little pinches, because I really don't want to waste this. So it's 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to try and put the excess back in the bottle. There we go. Without making too much of a ungodly mess. Okay, and then I'm going to use the red brick dust. If I can get the cork off. Oh, there we go. I kind of had that cork in there a good bit. Okay, so I'm just going to pour it in my hand. Okay, and try not to make a complete another mess again. So that's 1. That's 2. And 3. And just remember too that whenever you're making this yourself, to always keep your intention in mind about why you're making this, what you want this to do. Just make sure you keep positive thoughts, happy thoughts, and that'll really help reinforce like what you're wanting to do with this. Okay, so the last thing the last few things I'm gonna add is my black lava salt. So I'm just gonna do 1, 2, and 3. So there is that. Okay, and then I'm going to add my sand. Again, I'm just going to pour a little bit out on my hand and try not to make a huge giant mess. And do 1, 2, and 3. So there's that. That one you can't really see that well, but I know it's there, so I'm just going to go with that. Okay, and then I'm going to put my 3 shells. Again, I wanted my 3 shells. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to put our little bit of rose quartz in it before we start adding our ribbon to it. So I'm just going to try and get out 3 little stones. Well, I got out more than that. So there's my stones. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. Now feel free, of course, to use whatever stones you want in any size that you want. This is just what I happen to have on hand to use for this project. So that, of course, and plus, I mean, again, most of my crystals besides my clear quartz is going to be rose quartz, just because I'm very drawn to that, and it always works out for me. So okay, now next what we're going to do, and I'm sorry, I know this video is a little long, guys, but there's kind of a lot to these when you don't really think about it, but there's actually kind of a lot to these witches balls. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start filling it with our ribbon. Now, mine's fairly thin, if you can tell. Both of them, I got them pretty thin. So, some people use yarn. I wanted to use ribbon. And I just picked this up from Wal-Mart. And anything that I bought that y'all can go out and buy, I will put in the description down below. But for the most part, I kind of got, like, some of this is my own stuff. And some of this I got from, like, a local supplier. So, I can't really list those. But you want to cut your ribbon into strips. I'm doing mine randomly because the thought is to kind of make a web. So just shoving it in there. I made one and I just shoved it all in there, and I didn't like the way it looked. So I'm trying to do it a little bit differently. Because I have one that I made for Yule last year to hang on my tree. And I'm probably going to end up remaking that. Just for the simple fact is I don't particularly like the way it turned out. Okay, and then we're just going to shove this in there. And you want to, I purposely bought this ribbon for this purpose, so I'm probably going to end up using the majority of it just to fill, because you want to fill all this up. That's why most people use yarn, so you can actually, fill it up. But, see here, I'm going to just go ahead and fill this up, and then I'll come back to you guys so you can see what I'm going to do after I get the bottle actually filled, because it's going to be me sitting here for a minute filling this thing up, so hang on for that. Okay, everybody, I just finished packing mine full of the ribbon, and halfway through me packing it with ribbon, 1, I ran out of my ribbon, and 2, I remember I had this really, really pretty silver and white yarn that would do exactly what we needed to do, which is track all that negative energy and hold it in there. So I went and grabbed it because like I said, I completely forgot I had this, and I remembered, and I'm like, oh yay, this will be perfect. So once you get it all nice and packed in there, you want to make sure that it's really kind of in there. You want to mix it up because my herbs are kind of at the bottom, so you want to kind of mix it up and everything. And you want to, you can go ahead and put the top to your ornament back on there and try not to break it because I have done that before. There we go. And you just want to give this a really good kind of shake. And this is another good thing about using plastic. You don't have to worry about, if you use like a larger stone, you don't have to worry about it mixing up and breaking your glass. So we'll just go ahead and get those herbs shook up in there really, really good. Okay. And then that's pretty much it from there, and it's all up to you about how you customize it. Now for me, what I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to add my pentagram to it. And I cut off some excess ribbon, and I'm actually going to attach that to the pentagram right quick. So let me go ahead and do that on camera for you guys. Just going to attempt to loop it through. Let's see here. There we go. Loop it through. And now I'm doing 3, of course, because like I said, right now we're keeping everything in 3s. So we're just going to do that, and I'm going to loop it through right there. I was going to do through at point, but I like it. I think I was going to be better on the side. So we'll do that. Okay. Loop that one in, and do the last one. I'm not making these perfect because really, it doesn't have to be. It's unique. It's all you, and you can do it however you want to. If you want to make them look neat and pretty, you can. Me, I like the kind of haphazard look, so that's what I'm going with. Plus, it just gives it more like a kind of like a fairy feel, I guess, would be the terminology I'm looking for. Okay, and then that's what we're left with. So let me go ahead and just tie this on around my ball here, and I'm going to put 3 knots in it, of course. So there's the first one. Do it kind of, there we go. 1, 2, and 3 to seal it. And I'm just going to cut off the excess in the back. Now if you want to, you can glue it, tack it down, tuck it in, make it however you want to, and make it look all nice and pretty. But for me, I'm just going to leave it like that. And I've already have my different colored ribbons, so I'm just going to thread that through. Okay. And make a knot in it. That way I can hang it up in my room. Okay. Now, I would say at this point you are done, unless you want to continue on to the next step that I am going to do to further put some oomph in this. I am going to actually, and to, put some further oomph and attracting all those bad negative little spirits and little energies and any other little thing. I'm going to, on the back of mine, on the opposite side of the pentagram, and let's see here, I'm going to use my, that's what I got the bowl out for. There we go. Let me get it in camera. I'm going to take my Mod Podge that I apparently have not opened. Thought I opened this one. Okay. I'm going to take my Mod Podge, and I'm going to do a sigil on the back, or the Viking symbol for protection. I'm going to attempt to do that one as neat as I possibly can. We'll see how it turns out. Because then once we get this painted on, I'm going to pour the glitter over it and then let it set. Okay. Try to make sure you put a good hearty bit of glitter, a good hearty bit of Mod Podge or glue whatever you're using. And I know it's not perfect because I'm making this for me, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I would prefer it to be, just because I'm OCD, and I know sometimes if you don't make them right, then they don't really work. So we'll try to straighten it out a little bit there. Okay. Let's see. There we go. And there's that. Now we're going to take, and I have just plain kind of white silver glitter that I've been using for a costume. And I'm just going to pour this all over it. This is another reason I put the plate out, because I knew this was going to make a mess. So, what's a craft without a little bit of a mess? But this is where you can really, this is where you really personalize your stuff and make it into a craft, and not just it's something that we do because, because we need to, or because it's for protection or something like this, where it's, makes it a bit more fun, makes it a bit more messy. So let that sit for a second, and then I'll get all the excess glitter off, and I'm going to have to clean my altar bowl really good now, get all the glitter out, but I needed something to hold it. There. So let's try to, whoop. Yep, and there you have it, and I'm just going to let that sit overnight. That way I can kind of wipe off the glitter I don't need. But that is on the back. So now you have kind of a more individualized witch's ball, and it looks, I don't know, it looks a bit more, I guess, festive, girly, especially if you want to do something like this for Christmas, then that's one really good way to do it. Now, what I'm probably going to do when this gets done is I have some sealant that I'll probably spray over it, just as a little added thing, but yep, so that is my witch's ball process anyways. And everybody has a witch's ball process that they do, but that is currently mine. So yeah. Woo. Alright, so let me know what y'all think about it, and if you like it, if enough people like it, I might actually put some up in my Etsy store, but that'll be up to you, so just let me know down in the comments, and thanks so much, guys.
Okay, so wasn't that fun? And as you can see, I made a complete another mess with the glitter. There's still glitter everywhere. So much glitter everywhere. Okay, so that is how I make my variation of a witch's ball. I've been thinking about making a few more, do like the whole elemental spectrum, but and if anybody wants me to, I can go ahead and make up a few and have them for sale in my Etsy store if you're just not crafty or you just don't have the time, whatever the case may be. Because I know sometimes we see crafts that we'd like to do and we can do them, we just don't have the time, and sometimes I see stuff that is really cute that is fairly priced, so I'm like, I'll go ahead and I'll support another artist. So we'll see. If you want me to do that, just leave me a comment down in the description, and along with everything else that you can go out and buy, I'll just go ahead and put like the entire list of ingredients, and if there's like a link where you can go and buy them, then I'll put that with that as well. But I'll put everything that I used so you'll know, and if you want to make your own. And like I said, if you want me to put these up for sale in my store, I'll probably charge like $5 a ball, honestly. Because they're not expensive to make, so I won't charge entirely too much for them. And if you want a custom one, let me know. My Etsy shop page is down below, and my business email address is also down below. So if you want like a personal request one, just let me know. But other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want to keep seeing future tutorials like this, again, in the comments, let me know. And I will see y'all later, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!